My goal with this channel is to help you feel more supported, make you feel more at ease, and just make you feel empowered, especially during a painful endometriosis flare-up. I know myself. I know that when I feel that pain, I have seconds to minutes to really get myself organized, to find a safe space to land, to curl up in a ball and to not move. So thinking about grabbing water, grabbing a hot water bottle, or even turning on the kettle to get that hot water is not in my mind. That time frame and that window to prep is long gone. And so in today's video, I have developed a list of 7 things that you can actively do during an endometriosis flare-up when you cannot move your body. A lot of it is self-talk, and a lot of it is backed by research to help ease stress and ease your brain from focusing solely on the pain. The things in this list you can do during an endometriosis flare-up, regardless of if you are at home, in the car, at work, wherever you have an endometriosis flare-up, you can turn to these specific things to help you get through it. A medical disclaimer before we dive into the list is that I'm not a doctor or medical provider. If you have any new, changing, or recurring symptoms with your endo, it's always good to talk to a doctor that you trust about it. The first thing on this list that you can actively do during an endo flare and you are unable to move your own body is to think of certain colors. The one thing that I am focused on is that pain, how excruciating it is, where the pain is, the twisty, tingly, barbed wire sensation that is all-consuming. And the point here to help you feel more at ease and more at peace is to distract your brain from solely thinking about the pain that you are experiencing. When you are curled up in a ball and unable to move your body, regardless if you are at home or somewhere else, imagine where you are, that room or that environment, filling up with certain colors. There are certain colors that scientific research asks you to think about, and those are really pastel, earthy colors. Light green, light blue, mint, lavender, light gray, white, peach, earth tones like sand or beige or light terracotta. When pain is felt, the brain activates like a threat signal that is sent throughout the body. Your amygdala in the brain is like the alarm bell that goes off. It starts to fire when something feels a little bit dangerous. It sort of amplifies that emotional suffering during that active flare-up. All of those signals in the brain are acting up, they're activating, they're sending out the warriors in the body to say there is a threat happening. Everyone on guard, put the gates up, tense up, we are here and ready to fight. When you imagine colors, your brain activates the visual cortex, the part that sees and processes imagery. In simple terms, when you are focused on certain colors, it can't fully stay in threat mode. Obviously, this doesn't remove the pain that you are experiencing, and it might not be as easy to focus on the color because that pain is still happening, but it can hopefully soften the edge of the pain that you are feeling. Maybe think right now what color you would turn to immediately that you know, okay, that's the color I'm going to start off with during an endo flare. The next thing that you can turn to during an active endo flare where you are unable to move your own body is to breathe into the areas of your body where you do not feel pain. That might be a little bit strange to say out loud, and you might be thinking, how do I even do that? Is that a certain breathing technique? It's again all about the mental. I promise there's a rhythm to my madness. Oftentimes our breathing becomes more shallow, it becomes more tense, not on purpose. I don't think we're actively doing to get through it. Sometimes I do just to see if it helps, which it doesn't. But sometimes it's just an active response to get through that pain. The idea of taking a deeper breath sometimes feels impossible in itself. That deep breath that we take actually forces the diaphragm towards that pelvic zone that is in active pain, which again can increase that sensation of pain and discomfort. And so that's probably why instinctively we avoid taking a deep breath and our body automatically turns to those short, sharp, shallow breaths. The body is protecting itself. You can focus on your lips, on your nose, on the base of your neck, on your fingertips, on your shoulder. When you start to focus your attention and your breath on a neutral part of your body that is not physically in pain or you're not sensing it's in pain, picture in your brain a breath of sunshine or a breath of warm light going towards those areas of your body. Every time you take a shallow breath, instead of focusing on the pelvic zone, focus instead on your lips that are not in pain or your fingertips that are not in pain. It's kind of redirecting that one breath towards rewiring your brain and the system network to say, You don't solely have to focus on the threat that is happening in the pelvic zone. The third thing that you can do during an active endometriosis flare-up when you cannot move your body is to ground yourself through one sense. The hum of something in the room, the texture of a blanket, the scent of your shampoo. Just one thing. Nothing more, because again, there is so much happening with your body that you don't want to focus on too much. But if there's something that makes you feel good, that you smell like a candle that was going before, again, severe pain overdrives the brain and that threat signal is up. So this is why it is so important to focus on just one thing that brings you a sense of calm. Scientists call this bottom-up regulation, which is using sensory input to ground the nervous system. The next thing that you can do during an active flare-up when you are unable to move your own body is to speak to yourself internally. We all have internal thoughts of, okay, this is my to-do list. Okay, this is what I got going on. Okay, I gotta get that doctor's appointment. Okay, blah, blah, blah. You talk to yourself, at least I do, during an active endometriosis flare-up to help your body and to help your brain in these moments. Focus on internal talk that is positive, which is so hard to say. And I know you're looking at me being like, okay, positive, but it's gonna be so excruciating and like, I am not gonna be happy about it. I totally understand, and I've been there too. But during this time, we are trying to support our body when we don't have, again, that hot water bottle to help us, or that water to help us hydrate, or. We are trying to get through this flare to support ourselves and our body during the most painful, excruciating thing that anyone can endure. So this is the time to actively focus on being softer with ourselves. You have survived this before. You have survived this before. And if you can't clearly think, and if your brain is all foggy and you can't find the words, focus on sounds. A hum. Focus on a consonant to constantly repeat to yourself, like anything rhythmic, anything steady that you can repeat to yourself internally. Here's the science behind it. Severe pain hijacks our prefrontal cortex, which is the part of your brain that's responsible for logical thinking, processing, and emotional regulation. The threat signal starts to basically take over. That's why during a flare, sometimes we have foggy thinking, we're unable to find the words, we're not able to talk out loud because the pain is just so excruciating. Repeating gentle words internally activates that prefrontal cortex again. When you are silently repeating phrases like, you've survived this before, I'm going to get through it, I'm not alone, it allows your prefrontal cortex to slow that alarm signal down. Rhythmic sounds, so again, that or that calms the vagus nerve. The vibrations that you do when humming stimulate the vocal cords and the muscles in your throat. These muscles connect with branches of the vagus nerve. When the vagus nerve is stimulated, heart rates drop, and again, that nervous system starts to soften slightly. The next thing that you can do during an active endo flare when you are unable to move your body is to borrow time. You might be thinking, I don't want to borrow more time for this endometriosis flare-up. I don't want to live in this moment any second more. Why would I want to borrow time? When I am lying down with an endo flare, I am thinking about how much longer, when will this end? How long has it been? Time is the number one thing outside of pain that I'm feeling on my brain. When it comes to the idea of borrowing time, what I want you to do here is not focus on the next hour, as much as that is hard to do. I want you to not focus on the night that comes after this flare. I want you to focus on the next 30 seconds. Once you get through that 30 seconds, then you borrow another 30 seconds. Count time in pieces that are manageable, that are doable, that you can talk to yourself, again, that internal talk to say, I can survive anything for 30 seconds. I can survive anything for 15 seconds. And you repeat that to yourself in each borrowed time. Again, when you look at your to-do list and see this whole list, when you break down certain things of, okay, I'm gonna get this done today, the next tomorrow, it's more manageable, it's less overwhelming. The same thought process can go towards borrowing time and reducing the amount of overwhelm that is happening within your body and especially your brain. Short time frames also reduce catastrophizing things. Try and avoid, if you can, what if this never stops? I can't do this anymore. This is too much. Try, and as I know it's easier said than done, but if you can, just try and focus on the positives of, I am not alone, I have survived this before, I can do it. By borrowing only 15 seconds or 30 seconds in each chunk, stop your brain from projecting into an unbearable future for the next hour. because in reality, we really don't know how long the flare will last. Your nervous system also works best and regulates itself best when it is in a rhythmic cycle. So 30-second chunks can mirror that rhythmic cycle that your nervous system is trying to look for and ground to. It gives your body a predictable pattern when the pain is unpredictable. It gives your body a stabilizing structure to focus on. It gives yourself a sense of a micro achievement. You are supporting yourself during the most painful experience. Small wins reduce, again, that activation that there's a threat, basically trying to signal to your body that you are safe, that you are here with yourself, that you have survived that 30 seconds and you can do another 30 seconds. You are trying to get to that finish line of when that flare ends. And if you can provide any support to your body during it, this is the time to do it. Next thing that you can do during an active flare when you can't move your body is to try and trust your body's memory. Your body has done this before. The gripping, the shaking, the trembling, the sweating, the vomiting. Every single time, your body has found its way out again. It will this time too. The emotional memory that comes with remembering that you have survived this before, that all helps, again, reduce that threat activation that is happening within the brain. You are tapping into a biological truth. You're tapping into your hippocampus, which is your memory and the context that is provided within that memory. You're also tapping into that prefrontal cortex, that calming, that reasoning, that processing, that ability to activate your brain to say, okay, yeah, we've done this before. All of that, again, is there to help reduce that alarm signal happening within the body. The next thing that you can do to help support yourself during a flare when you can't move your body is to sink into what is holding you. Let the bed hold you. Let the ground support you. Let gravity take your weight. You don't have to support yourself in this moment physically. That's what the ground is for. When pain is so severe, your body and your muscles start to do what's called guarding, and they do this without your permission. It's your body's way of protecting yourself. It's happening because your nervous system is trying to splint the area of pain. If my muscles are tight, then nothing's penetrating to make that pain worse. When you let your body physically just sink into the mattress or the ground, or let gravity take that weight and just ground you where you are reducing the demand within the proprioception system that requires you to stabilize or to hold balance. You're looking to reduce the weight on the system that is holding you tense. Let something outside of your body hold you up. When you let yourself sink, you're obviously not reducing the pain that you're experiencing, but you're reducing the burden that you have on yourself to hold it all together. Finally, the last thing that you can do to help yourself during an active flare when you can't move your body is to let your body be unpretty. If you sweat, if you cry, don't fix it. Don't tidy it. Pain is raw. It's not performative. Crying, sweating, and shaking are actually ways that help support your brain in that tense moment as well. Shaking can help discharge adrenaline. These reactions are literally your body trying to calm itself down. You're not breaking down, you're processing. Trying to stay composed during an endometriosis flare-up can actually increase pain. Holding your breath, tensing your jaw, it actually increases that muscle guarding, perceived pain intensity that we feel, emotional suffering. So your body works harder when it feels like it has to be composed. It's another thing that you're putting onto your body's plate to do on top of get through this flare-up as well. Pain does not have to look beautiful. It's okay to look human when you are in pain. You're not performing it. Please feel free to comment down below if you have other ideas or tips and tricks that have helped you when you are unable to move your body during a flare. I cannot wait to talk to you on the next one. And in the meantime, please take care of yourself. I am with you every step of the way. Bye.